Hey guys, Engineer Wannabe here, live with my friends Sam and Keith, and whoever else decides to join. um, as you can tell, I've had a change of set. I'm no longer behind a red curtain, and yeah, kind of messy, but I'm a bit more comfortable, and I can have my delicious chocolate milk here.
Behind the scenes look right there.
Yeah. um, So I hope you all are doing well. Today has been a really hot day. I'm not sure what it's like with in Chicago, and
Very hot,
um,
yes.
yeah, we tend to have similar weather. So, Sam, I keep thinking you're in Melbourne. I know you're not in Melbourne, but what's the weather like over there?
Um, it's the morning, so it's pretty chilly, I guess.
Chill.
But
Yeah,
it's a winter weather, 20 degrees.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We've had really nice weather all week, and it just went. Not sure what happened there, but I'm yeah, other than that, let's get started. Let's go with our wristwatch check. For once, Keith is not clockwise to me. So Sam, what's on your wrist?
Okay. Again, for the seventh or eighth time, I am wearing the Larco.
Yeah, that's great.
I still have that on.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a nice looking watch. So
it's good to see consistency. and that's a Hirsch strap, right?
yeah, it is the Hertz strap without a buckle on it. So
Yeah.
I mean, not a buckle, the keeper.
Can
So,
can I can I see it again? The
the strap or
let me
the
both. Let me go full screen there. Cool. So that would be the one where you had to peel off the keeper, kind of, where the
yeah,
keeper peeled off.
the keeper peeled off because they didn't actually stitch the keeper. They just used
Right.
glue. That's when you can
Yeah.
tell a bit of, faster craftsmanship, just poor craftsmanship in general.
Yeah, yeah. I actually had my watch on that Hirsch that we were talking about as well. But Keith, what's on your wrist?
The Oris Aquis Clean Ocean.
Nice.
I haven't seen what you're wearing yet, so we have potential to be watch twins today. I don't know.
We aren't.
Oh, okay.
I was wearing the Speedy earlier, but for the sake of discussing this, I put this on. This is the Seiko
nice.
SPB. I forgot to go full screen on you, Keith. Sorry about that. The Seiko SPB 213, and the bezel lines up. Yes.
Nice.
Movement is not good. Yeah, I
Still,
never have good luck with the 6R35 or the 15. This one is plus 20 when it's crown up, minus 30 when it's
oh wow,
laying flat. When I'm wearing it, it's like plus 2. So I guess if I keep it on all the time, that's good. In the winder, it's minus 40, so I can't cheat it and put it in the winder all the time.
I've had a similar experience with 6R35, particularly. I've owned 3 of them, and yeah, they were out of spec. They were just running out of spec, so I had to go to Seiko. They regulate it for you, and yeah, I usually get 10 seconds. But yeah, the fact that I have to go through that extra step is just not on.
Yeah. The cool thing though is everything lines up, so I might actually take it to my watchmaker and get it regulated if possible, because since everything lines up, I'm good with that, and I might just take it to my guy, which is encouraging, but sad because this is not how it's supposed to be, right?
Right. Brand new watch,
Yeah. I've had better luck with the 4Rs, so I'm actually more ready to buy a 4R movement than a 6R, which is sad. But yeah, let's see who's in the chat. It's good to see you all, guys. I've been looking forward to tonight. Peter, he's driving. Peter was at a watch meetup, first one in who knows how long, but an Oris watch meetup, which is good to hear. Peter, hope you drive safe. Oil Money is here, commenting on the title. Watch Snobbery. Looks like it got the right guy in the live stream comment section. Well, Money, as I like to say, is the undercover nice guy. Keith, good to see you.
Hey.
As well. Hey, how's it going? Nilo, hey man, how's it going? Thanks for joining us. Desk Diver, good to see you. Sam, man, it's been a long time. Leah, how's it going? Hope you had a restful night. Probably 6 a.m. again for you. Yeah, Scorcher here too in Toronto. We live kind of by the lake, so it's a bit better. I hear it's a lot worse further up north to my area. Wolfgang's here too. Wow, because yeah, he's in Vegas, so you can join us. Good to see you, Wolfgang. He seconds oil money. Snob here. Hate Nautilus. FP Jordan. Rashard Meal. See, I was actually we're gonna kind of touch on that. Jared, good to see you. Marcus as well. Hey man, winter in Melbourne. Justin EDC. Ajay is here. Hey man. And Bobby. Bobby's in Seattle. So good to see you, Bobby. Lyndon, how's it going? Nice docs are there in your thumbnail profile pic. Sorry. You'd recommend the strap from Hirsch? No, not really. Don't buy a Hirsch strap until you get to the $100 mark. Who else? Henrik's here. Good to see you, Henrik. Yeah, no Bobby. And Dan got the hat. Yes, Dan got the hat. I was testing out. Well, I'm gonna give away a bunch of hats. So Dan was my test process. So I sent a hat.
Which one did he get?
Sorry?
Which one did he get?
You got a Tudor hat. So this guy.
Okay.
Nice. See, I'm at my desk, so I can show you guys all the crazy hats that I have, just from swag bags. But I was wearing this guy today. This is probably my favorite hat. It's a Pro Specs, but it's like a golfing hat.
Okay. I'm
not gonna do that right now. But yeah, I'm so happy to hear you got your hat, Dan. I'm not banned into a closet. If I tilt the camera, you can see the red curtain. It's like right there. So it's my bedroom. Mark is commenting on the 6-hour movements. It needs 4 weeks of constant use to start working reliable. Okay, that's good to know. I mean, I had the Baby Alpinist for a while, the Sharp Edge for about 3 months, and it didn't improve. But maybe it'll improve with this guy. Broke Watch Fanatic, good to see you. Ristros is here too. Wow, lots of guys. Justin is wearing his Mito tribute. Ronan is here too. Hey man, good to see you. Jonathan as well. Good to see everyone. And Keith. Great to have a active. I mean Kevin. Sorry, it's been a hot day and my brain's fried. Kevin. Yeah. Yeah, so good to see you all. Let us know what you're wearing. I know some of you were. Broke Watch Fanatic was wearing his SBGN 003. Torin isn't here to represent. And Black Bay Explorer is here too. Hey man, 212-214-270. Not sure what that is. I'm not good with Rolex reference numbers. 21.
Is that Explorer?
Is that the new Explorer? 214-270 is the Explorer. Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a new one, right? But no, it's not.
It's
not.
The 39.
39. Yeah. Okay. Great choice there. Investment grade. Jared's wearing his Sarb, and Oil Money is wearing the pistachio. Cool, man. You got to let me know what you thought of the strap. I thought it felt like plastic. Was that just me, or was it just the one that I saw? Because I was pretty close to getting that pistachio. But man, that strap really put me off. All right, so let's get into it. I was gonna have a short discussion about snobbery, watch snobbery, and different kinds of snobbery. Let's kind of start with defining snobbery. I don't know if you guys want to try to give me your definitions of snobbery, because like in the watch community, we have words that seem to mean one thing, but then it means something else. Kind of like homage. Homage in any other industry, any other hobby would mean, paying reverence, paying respect. But in the watch community, homage kind of, in the general watch community, homage means a copy, and is kind of a frowned upon term, right? You don't want to be called an homage maker. And yeah, so I'll kick it off with Sam. Sam, do you have an idea or a definition of snobbery for yourself? Watch snobbery, at least, specifically?
Well, yeah, when I do hear that word, it's just like, because you think you've got the high end product, you have the right to shill upon the, something that you think is a lower end product or isn't worthy of that status. So that's just a basic definition of, just being a snob or just snobbery. So yeah.
So kind of like not worth that person's time, kind of, or
yeah.
Yeah.
Say so.
How about you, Keith? What would you think?
I'm terrible at defining words.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not very good at that. Like,
Yeah, no,
it's tough to decide what's snobbery and what's just strong preferences for what you like, and that those lines kind of blur in the watch world. Because to just jump into it, I guess I don't notice a lot of snobbery, at least in the circles I run in the YouTube videos I watch and the groups that we chat in. I don't really see it. I think I would probably see it more if I was a YouTuber and looked at the comments, maybe.
Yeah.
But I do see strong preferences for maybe more expensive watches or just certain brands in general, which does border on snobbery. And like I even feel it in myself, like, seeing someone wear a movement watch, which I've seen out in the wild, even myself, I would consider myself a snob in that scenario, kind of rolling my eyes, at that. But yeah, like I said, it's hard to determine what's snobbery and what's this extremely when you have a strong preference for something and you're fanatic about it, you're enthusiast about it, as we call ourselves, then yeah, it's hard to decide which is which.
Yeah. No, that's good, and you touched on some things that I've been thinking of too, and just as a heads up, we're just kind of shooting the breeze, like I generally say in the beginning of the stream. We're just discussing something. We haven't thought these things out for extended periods of time. We're not writing a dissertation or a PhD on something. So so I've been thinking about watch snobbery because I've been kind of trying to be a bit self-aware, right? So I was thinking, am I a snob when it comes to certain things because I don't like them? And then how we were talking to Chris not too long ago, who's a friend of mine, from high school, who doesn't know anything about about watches, and we were talking about movement. Like Keith just mentioned, we were talking about how we wouldn't recommend movement to anyone. And when we see a movement watch, we kind of, die a little on the inside. Movement, Movado, like the Movado Museum, I think it's called, the just watches that are cheaply made, that are borderline scams. And that's kind of where I think I find that not liking movement and kind of rolling your eyes when you do see a movement watch is kind of acceptable, at least from what I'm thinking. Because the reason we don't like those watches, I'll speak for myself. The reason I don't like those watches is because I feel like that was money, that was stolen almost. So thinking of Daniel Wellington movement, these really cheap $5 quartz watches that are sold for around $150, $200, maybe $100. That's to me is money that could have been spent better. And when I roll my eyes, when I see a watch and it, crushes my soul a little, it's because I want better for that person who has that watch, right? And so when I think of it that way, I think, okay, so that I think is acceptable. We're okay when it comes to that. We're not a snob. At least from what I think, and I would think you guys are like that too, because we want that person to enjoy that timepiece, to have a timepiece that is capable of outliving them, and so I think a movement watch, which is plastic components, something that is disposable, is the problem. Now that said, the bottom, we can go further up the ladder here because there's, I think, many layers of snobbery. But I don't. I'm kind of give the floor to you guys. See if you guys want to comment on that. Sam, do you have any thought?
So, yeah, just one thought that put me to it was, let's say you were not part of the watch hobby. This was pre, watch hobby, and you see someone with a movement watch or you see someone with any watch, you probably don't really care. Let's be honest. You're like, okay, maybe the design looks good, but once you're part of the watch hobby, you start to pay attention to what's on people's wrists. You start to make certain judgments, maybe about the person or just the watch it's wearing, just because you're part of the watch hobby. So I believe people who are watch enthusiasts are inherently a watch snob. I'm not telling them they're at the highest spectrum of being a snob, but definitely you are there is some form of snobbery there. Obviously, we're already judging a movement watch. Before you were part of the watch hobby, you didn't know if it was a damn movement. You didn't know if it was, probably didn't even know what a Breitling was, or so some other brands. So yeah, inherently, there is that snobbery. And when it does come to tier levels, I obviously haven't thought of this, but let's say inherently you are, you're deciding between a few watches. You have this much money and you have a competition going on with certain watches you want to spend your money on. You can only choose one. You're choosing one because you're a snob. You're choosing one because, maybe I like this Grand Seiko more than this one because it has a spring drive movement. I'm going to pick that watch. Yes, it's a preference, but then a lot of times I've done this before, but I think a lot of time what us enthusiasts do is, once we do pick a watch out of a select array, we're like, yes, man, I'm so happy I got this. That was shit. That wasn't that great. I'm so happy I got this watch. You try to give yourself self-gratification for making your purchase. But at the end of the day, you could have picked any one of those watches and you would probably have that form of self-gratification. You would probably put down those other watches. So yeah, in terms of, you have that small level of snobbery just with yourself. You're not really affecting anyone else. It's just with you. But yeah, that's something I just wanted to just put out.
Yeah, that's a really good point, actually, because you're not projecting that to anyone else. I guess you're having that conversation within yourself. You're trying to pick between, like your example, a 9F and a spring drive. And at that moment, you're looking at the pros and cons, and you are coming up with the pros, and then you make your selection. And then I guess in a sense, a lot of people do kind of try to make themselves feel better about their choice as well, right? I guess 9F and spring drive, there's a huge disparity there. Maybe high beat and spring drive is a bit closer. So yeah, I can see what you mean when you mention that. Keith, did you have anything?
Yeah, the only thing I'll add is I'm not rolling my eyes at the person wearing the watch. I'm rolling my eyes at the watch brand. Actually, TGV and Mark from A Long Island Watch on their most recent video talked about Vincero, however you say it, because they reached out to Mark to possibly for him to carry them, and so he kind of gave numbers of what the wholesale price is on those watches, and it's pretty crazy. So I think that was pretty interesting. But yeah, I just wanted to clarify. Yeah, it's the brand that I'm turning my nose at.
Yeah,
not the person.
Yeah. And I guess there's that kind of snobbery. So I guess we're kind of defining snobbery in our circle, so to speak, right? So someone else, I think in the comments was mentioning, we'll go through the comments, was mentioning how snobbery is looking down on someone, right? And showing displeasure toward it and the person. So in our current definition of snobbery, we're kind of talking about what's better and what's not, in like a very limited sense. Yeah, maybe we're kind of digging a hole here, but so moving forward, I think there is the fact that we don't project this onto others. We don't make others feel bad about what they have chosen. And I think that's where that kind of our snobbery becomes some kind of a toxic snobbery, something that is demeaning, and it kind of fits with every other definition of snobbery, is when we start to demean someone else's choice. We start to deride it and look down on it, scoff at it, spit at it, and that's I think that's where it starts to unravel and become something really bad. So I don't think, I've never really, even as a YouTuber that has a comment section, I know a lot of people say the comment section is horrible. I've not found it to be like that.
That's why it kind of surprises me how TGV always brings it up, the watch snobbery. He usually makes 1 or 2 videos about it at least a year.
Yeah.
And give or take, he's one of the biggest YouTubers, so maybe he sees it more. But yeah, I don't know where he's seeing this. Maybe I'm just lucky. I don't know.
Well, I know there was a lot of drama, let's say, between him and Archie Luxury, and Archie Luxury is kind of like a textbook watch snob, right? If we want to look up a watch snob, we kind of think of Archie Luxury. I've never really watched a lot of Archie. I haven't watched a lot of Archie Luxury. Just a couple of things here and there. But from what I saw, the reason why I haven't proceeded with Archie Luxury is because of how derogatory he is, right? And maybe it's all an act. A lot of people say it's an act, but my ears can't take the cursing and the craziness there. But so yeah, there was a lot of drama there, and I think a lot of the videos that he made were kind of swipes at him. I think there, you can't really confirm or deny that, I don't think, but there was like a spark of a channel called Gunzap. I don't know if you guys want to go back and take a look at this channel. Just search Gunzap. It was hilarious. There was this. It's not something wholesome or edifying or anything. This is just pure messiness and gossip, I guess. But he was editing Archie Luxury videos with TGV videos and putting them together. It was like a conversation or like a fight between each other, and it was hilarious. I had a lot of fun. I do miss Gunzap, but maybe it was good that it burnt out as soon as it did, because if we had years of that could probably start to get pretty bad. But yeah, let's go into the chat, see what you guys are talking about. Jonathan Robinson is wearing his Combat AM. Very nice roll ball bracelet. I should look that up. That sounds really cool. Lyndon is wearing his 3212.80. Is that a speedy? Not sure. Ronan is wearing his Squale 1521 Fumoso. I think we've all adopted this Squale pronunciation, but I've heard it's supposed to be pronounced squall.
Really?
But I think TGV has made it Squale, and I think even Squale pronounces it Squale now.
Oh, really? Wow.
But I heard it was like shark in French. Oh, squall or something. So maybe I'm wrong. MTB Mike is here as well. Good to see you, man. Back in the day, I had a four generation one sumos, and 3 were very accurate. It's a bit of a tongue twister, but yeah, I totally understand, because the SARB 33s and 35s were known for their accuracy, even though they weren't toleranced really close, but their accuracies were really good. and I had a 35 that was really accurate, the 6R15. Somewhere along the line, something happened, and we started to hear about, over lubricated 6R15s. I think Casual Watch Reviewer did a video on that. I can't quite remember, but over lubricated movements, and just unregulated now. It just seems poor. Kevin S is wearing his really, really cool Astron SSH 083. It's a purple dialed Astron. Oh, it's so cool. It's really nice. Congrats, man. Yeah. Speedmaster date. There you go. That is a Speedmaster. Running Atlanta. What's up, everyone? Wearing a black ceramic Hydro Conquest. That's so cool. Nice. It's good to see another one in the wild. Watch One's Over has the same one, I think. Brendan Nelson, Seamaster 300. Very cool. That's not the professional, so very nice. That's the vintage one. Broke watch fanatics, pistachio strap is vomit. Nice definition there. Marcus F is wearing a North flag. Very cool. Leia Y is wearing his two-tone Santos Dumont. Very nice. Everyone's a snob at some level, but simply put, I think if you put down someone's watch in front of them, that's snobbery. Yeah, I would 100% agree. Wolfgang was saying, here's some snobbery: chasing watches for price gain disqualifies as aficionado, watch aficionado, I think. Very very interesting take. So if you're chasing a watch just to make money, I think that makes you a snob. I guess so, because then you chase only Rolex, right? Rolex and Patek in AP Royal Oaks, and you sneer at everything else that loses money. So yeah, I guess the ending point of just chasing watches for money or price gain leads to snobbery.
I will say there's so much talk of what holds value that I get burnt out on hearing about it, because it's like, why can't we just talk about which watches are cool and not worry about it as much? But yeah, that's just me.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I kind of groan when I hear Rolex now.
Yeah.
Ronan is defining it as one's willful, demeaning behavior towards another. That's a really good definition. Withered Manscape is here. You actually got the Shaq Invicta. That's great, man. This is where we could become snobs and say, oh, that sucks. But no, I think Withered Manscape has a really big wrist, and he really enjoys his Shaq Invictas, and you know what? That's great. We're glad you enjoy it. Sorry, Sam, I think I cut you off.
Oh no, I was just about to mention, speaking of the Astron, I've watched many videos on the Astron, and a typical comment that just arises is like, oh, that's Grand Seiko money. Or it's like you see any really high-end Seiko, it could be Prospex, Alex, everyone's just like, oh man, you must be a complete fool for buying this. That's a Grand Seiko money. But, let people get what they truly like. But yeah, it's just a snob comment that just keeps on popping up. It's just made me tired. I'm glad you got the Astron. It's something I've been considering myself as well. So
yeah. I strongly considered the Astron from last year. I think that was the black DLC brown and gold dial, or black and gold dial, for Hattori's 120th birthday. I don't even know, man. There's so many different anniversaries and birthdays, and it's crazy. But sorry, Keith, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was gonna say I'm actually guilty of thinking that. I haven't actually said it, but I'm guilty of thinking, hey, that is Grand Seiko money. Why would you buy the Prospex LX? But then if you actually dig a little deeper, which generally is the case, if you dig a little deeper, you see that they're not directly compatible, those watches. You would be getting a bottom or a lower end Grand Seiko compared to the specs that you're getting with the Seiko. Like with the Astron, you're getting a solar watch, which Grand Seiko doesn't even do. Sure, the movement is a standard quartz, but you're getting radio frequency syncing stuff like that Grand Seiko just doesn't do. And yeah, you got a bunch of nice stuff like titanium, all those things. There's no one-to-one match when it comes to Grand Seiko and Seiko. I think they do think it through a bit, which makes you spend more money on the Seiko, and then you think, oh, I got to get Grand Seiko now, and so yeah. If you really love watches, you respect every price point. It's true. You do. I tell the guys in the office, size matters. 55 mil. I think watch snobbery is looking down at other people's watches and preferences. We can enjoy high-end watches and not be snobs as long as we accept other watches and preferences. Absolutely. Well said. Wolfgang, ban Withered Manscaped with Snuff Attack. Wolfgang doesn't mean that Withered Manscaped. Keith and Sammy, I love you, bros, but where's Bob and Torin? Torin is at a family gathering, and Bob is in Seattle. I think vacation, visiting family. So there you go. But Keith made it back in time from the farmer's market.
It was a close call, but back.
Yeah. Marcus F. Snobbery, if you see a 20, 30-year-old person with a Rolex Submariner, an AP Royal Oak, and assuming it's fake. Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't assume anything is fake. I mean, and yeah, you can't win there. You can't say, hey man, is that real?
Yeah, I don't know if that's snobbery or jealousy.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this 20-year-old obviously can't afford a nice watch. Well, maybe they can, and you don't like that they can.
Yeah, good point. Bobby's here as well. Rob, hey, good to see you, man. Wolfgang, Bobby's looking down on us with his Kadoki. Pure snob right there. He changed on his first day. Yeah, Bobby actually, Rob from Bobby Legs YouTube channel just posted an unboxing. He just got his Kadoki 2 with the salmon dial. Really cool watch. Really jealous. But go check it out. It's on my watch later as well. I got to see it. Congratulating on the Kadoki 2. Class/status consciousness is an integral part of the human condition. To be a snob is to be human. Yeah. You know what? If you really think about it, we're all snobs. I mean, I should speak for myself again. A lot of people say I'm a nice guy, but I really am not. If you plug an HDMI cord into here and project it onto the screen, I would be horribly embarrassed. And I don't think good things all the time, and they're really snobby thoughts that I have to fight against. Yeah, so don't think of me as a nice guy, because oil money hit it right right in there for me. Because yeah, to be a snob is to be human. I think where the rubber meets the road is if you actually project it out. If you let it out, that's when you start to hurt people, and that's not a good situation. And you know what? I've let it out a few times. It's not good. So I'm not a good guy. Don't be jelly, guys. We all have Shack models if you want. We can all have. Yeah. I don't think I could. I honestly, I don't think I could pull it off on my ankle. I've got really skinny wrists, really skinny ankles, so I just can't do a Shack, unfortunately. But hey, if you can do it, that's great, man. Dan saying oil money with the philosophy lesson. He's right. People always comment on my hands. Would that be snobbery or just
That's again jealousy, because I have nice soft hands because I'm not doing the manly work that Bobby Legs is doing in his yard or whatever he's doing. So
yeah, property. Yeah, I have really feminine hands too. Archie.
Definitely
Yeah.
does.
He's the textbook watch snob. What did you think, Dan? That I was just another charming personality. Let's see, Mike. Even if AL is an act, I can't stand the act. Oh, Archer Luxury. Yep. Yeah, I can't stand the act either. He's mellowed out a lot recently. I feel because I watched a couple. Yeah.
He stopped the cussing because he needed the Google ad revenue.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, that makes sense. But hey, if it helps me, I'm okay with that. BDev, Bruno. I think your name is Bruno, BDev. Sorry if I messed it up. I ordered Casio World Time. I ordered one, and Amazon sent me two. Too bad it wasn't a $500 watch. Wow. You should give it away. Or keep it. I'm not telling you what to do.
What do you prefer?
Okay. Not sure what Wolfgang is mentioning here.
I'll take it though.
Yeah. We want Bob and Torin back full time. They kind of are full time. They love being here. It's just they can't be here all the time. So
let me tell you, the middle day on a Saturday, not the easiest time to be here.
Yeah, it's true. Your friend is she still here? I know you had.
Yeah, I'm actually seeing her tonight before she leaves.
Okay. 2200 retail for the Astron, and the tech seems really cool. Dual time zone, perpetual calendar, GPS solar, much more tech. It really is. It's a cool watch. There's a lot going on in there. I respect anyone's taste with watches, but just find blatant copies to be tough to tolerate. Yeah, that's actually we've been kind of stuck in the comments for a while.
Yeah, there's actually a lot of comments.
Yeah,
quite a lot.
We'll stick a pin on it. We'll stick a pin on that comment right there and move on to that because that's a good segue. The other aspect of things is homage watches. So homage being what the watch community calls an homage. So like a Pagani design or Parnis. Can you think of anything else? Let's stick with those. So just the copy watches, like the photocopier watches, as Jody from Just One More Watch likes to call them. So you got those watches that are basically copies, and then I think here's where it gets a bit more hairy or difficult to navigate this moral forest. You got those watches, and then you have real homages in the traditional sense of the term. So something like a few NTH models. I think they take different things from different brands and make a watch that they really love. I think that's a good way to do homage. Maurice Lacroix Icon, it's a lot like the Royal Oak, but it's different. Tudor Royale, a lot like the Royal Oak, but different. I think that's a good way to do homages. And then we come to the copies, right? The Pagani design, and those are pretty much one-to-one copies. Steinhardt, there you go. Steinhardt's another one. One-to-one copies of said watches, popular watches. So here is, I guess, a difficult spot to navigate. What I've said in the past and what I continue to say is you're better than that. You're better than... if you're a watch enthusiast, let me preface. If you're a watch enthusiast, you're better than having a Steinhardt or getting a Steinhardt as maybe one of your bigger pieces. If you have everything and you just want a Steinhardt or a Pagani design, just to see what it's like, or just to wear down to the ground, then I think, that's fine. But if you're a watch enthusiast and you really love, say, the Rolex Explorer, but you go for the Smiths, that's a carbon copy of it, I think you're better than that. You can get something that's a little different, that is a true homage, not the photocopy. It's a true homage, and you are able to, have something original, right? Sure, it's derivative, let's say, but it's still original, and it's something that will do justice to a watch enthusiast, rather than looking down your wrist or being mistaken to have a Submariner on your wrist. I think that's just a shame. But that's not necessarily right of me to say.
Yeah, I think the
mean,
HDMI is hooked up right now. I think we're seeing
yeah,
it.
yeah. I was gonna say that's not necessarily right for me to say. But again, in this case, I think is very similar to the movement section, from my opinion. If you guys try to see it from my perspective, I want you guys to have more for your money. I want you guys to really, enjoy what you have something original, have something that you don't have to keep explaining yourself about. Saying, hey, no, it's not a Submariner. It's just a Steinhardt. You kind of have to put that in front as well, right? It's just a Steinhardt. So yeah, as a watch enthusiast, I think you should, maybe get a Seiko SPB 143, which is hopefully a few years from now, Seiko's got their quality control down pat. Everything's good, and just go for that. It kind of looks like a Submariner. It looks like a Glasuto original CQ, and a watch that's better than the Submariner, right?
Is that
You
the
get
gray
more.
dial?
Sorry.
Is that the gray dial?
Yes.
Yeah.
I saw it today, actually. Look nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is really nice,
It's a very
and
nice
it
watch,
it has that DNA. It has that heritage. It's its own thing. You can't say Seiko's copying anyone else, and you've got this thing that you can be really proud of. Really enjoy as a watch enthusiast. Now, if you just want to watch, you just want to get one, be done with it, then you know what, you can go for an homage. It really doesn't matter at that point. You're not buying a replica, so you're not buying a fake. You're not supporting criminals. And the caveat is, if in the future someone says an homage or a Pagani design or a Steinhardt is illegal, then I would rescind that. Say don't ever buy that, because if it is illegal, then it's all illegal. But yeah, that ramble to say, it's not necessarily right. Maybe I'm hurting someone saying that, but it comes from a good place. I hope you understand, and that would be my HDMI cable into my head, and my self-confessed snobbery is that's where I kind of stand. I just can't do the copies. What do you guys? I know, Sam, last time you mentioned a few things when I mentioned that in a previous stream, but Keith or Sam, if you want to add anything to that.
No, I'd like to promote. Oh, go ahead, Sam.
Yeah. No, you go.
Okay. I was gonna say, I like to promote creativity, and there's nothing, creative about trying to copy something one-to-one. So I'd rather have, a watch in the same price point that's unique, and I could tell they put effort into the design of it. So that's what I look for in watches. But like the desk diver was saying, not everyone can afford the watches that they want.
Yeah.
Which I definitely recognize. And if you love the design, and more power to you. But yeah, just for me, I like to promote the brands that, or support the brands that put some creativity into design.
Yeah. For sure.
Look,
yeah.
I'll add into something, and this is more to do about design. So, if let's say there's a brand and they make an A-type Flieger or a B-type Flieger, I'm going to ask you one question: Is that an homage?
See, that's a hard one, because I wouldn't say so. Because that's the design, right? I wouldn't say it's an homage. No. If you take if there's like a unique characteristic of that watch, say maybe the bevels on the sides, maybe there's some kind of striping or brushing, even then it's really hard to say that it was copied, right? When you have a standard design that's standardized, I don't think you can make an homage of that. It is what it is. So
just with Snobbery and that in general, when I was considering a much more affordable pilot watch or Flieger watch, the reason I did consider something like the Larco, when I could have maybe considered a Parnas Flieger that had I think it had actually thermally blued hands, and it had it was fully loomed. There was no branding, So, it was a traditional Flieger just made by Parnas, but I decided to go with the Larco because it had that heritage to it. Just that brand, that connection. So that is also, a level of snobbery I went through in picking out, the Larco that I have here. So I guess.
Yeah, and I'm kind of going back on what I was saying, because the Christopher Ward Sealander, that GMT, looks a lot like the Explorer 2, but I do like that watch. But as Dan pointed out to me, a lot of that watch is still unique to Christopher Ward. It's just like the bezel, the hand, one other thing is taken from Rolex, but a lot of it's unique. So the line is blurred a lot of times.
Yeah, I hear you. And yeah, these aren't hard and fast rules. There are always exceptions to rules as well, right? Like the Laco example. That was a great example, Sam.
I mean, like, think about the Christopher Ward. What else are you going to do to that bezel? It's there. It's a function. It's a
Right.
functioning thing. What are you going to do? It's a brushed bezel. I don't know. People
Right,
are
a
like,
steel,
if
right.
only they changed the font. Like, what are you thinking? It's a perfectly legible font, and they're picking on the most ridiculous things on the watch because they think it's an homage.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. It's what people think.
Yeah. Well, Money was saying, what snobbery I can deal with is the reverse snobbery that does that. The guys that have crazy pieces and then virtue signal flex with these swatches and Casios get on my last nerve. That's really interesting. I always thought reverse snobbery was kind of like people who can't necessarily afford or don't want to put money into, say, a Submariner. They make fun of the people who do get the Submariner. That's kind of not cool either, right? People who kind of make negative judgments on someone based on the fact that they have a nice watch, I think is really wrong as well. And what Oil Money Michael is mentioning here is true as well, because that would be really that would get on my nerves too. Because if you really don't like, say, an SKX, but you show it off just to make yourself look like you're this really great guy, that's that's not nice either. But I mean, in the end, that's hard to prove as well. I don't know. I guess you'd have to really know the person to be able to make that judgment that he's being that kind of reverse snob, where he is virtue posting his SKX right next to his Pateks and ALSs and reversos and JLCs and all these things. He has that one solitary F91W. You'd have to really know the guy to go and say, he's virtue posting. Maybe he really likes that. Maybe he does really like his SKX. So maybe we're being snobs right now. We're calling him a snob. I feel like those kids with fake hype watches still have a chance of becoming an enthusiast in the future. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. If you're a newbie starting out, I think that would be an exception to the rule as well. If you happen to get a Parnas or a Pagani, hey, there are worse ways to go wrong, or go wrong at all, right? I shouldn't say you're going wrong, but yeah, maybe that will whet your appetite to actually get that Daytona when you are able to, or maybe you're more comfortable with putting that money down. Maybe you already have the money, but you think, who's going to spend $20,000 on a watch? But then you get into the hobby and you think, hey, this is actually worth my money. And that's a really good point, Dan. Miguel's here too. Hey man, good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Watch humility up next, Ronan says. That's interesting. You can't say you're humble and still be humble, right? Yeah, man, I'm the most humble guy here. I have an F91W in my watch box back there, and I always put others before myself. I'm the humblest guy. I'm being really sarcastic, by the way. If you're, humility is a tough one. Dan saying, "Let it out. I'm allowed to be opinionated." That's true. I am.
And I would say Dan is someone who is very opinionated, but not in a bad way. He just has nothing wrong with having strong opinions. Yeah.
Yeah. Dan, yeah, and I think Marcus from the Almond Reviews and Bobby Legs streams. He's really opinionated, but he's not a jerk. He's Oil Money. Oil Money pretends to be a jerk, but he's not a jerk at all. Let's see. Let's skip through here real quick. Yeah, Test Diver, live and let live. Let people wear what they want. At the end of the day, it's in their wrist. It's their wrist. Absolutely, yeah. But it's okay to, ring the alarm bell. If you really care about someone, right? You have to ring the bell. You have to say, "Hey, don't do that. You're gonna get hit by a train." Archie's worst trait is that he's just not. I think some people would beg to differ. Some people like train wrecks. I'm not saying he's a train wreck. So see the HDMI. I need to unplug it.
You need to stop talking.
Bruno said he's going to be giving away his world timer. That's very nice of you, man. Just an EDC. Even if I miss the stream on Saturdays, I always catch a replay. One of my favorite streams. Oh wow, thanks. Thank you, sir. That's really kind of you to say. Mike says putting a different name on the dial is not an homage. It's a copy. If you want to wear it, go for it, but it's a copy. I think I stand with you on that one, Mike. Let's go forward. Go down a bit. Sorry if I miss anything, guys. If I do miss something and you want me to read it again, just type it up again. Feelings on the Ocean Rover. I don't know this one. Do you guys know what the Ocean Rover is?
Not really.
Sam's got Cherry MX Blues.
Oh, you can hear that.
No, that's all right.
Sorry about that, guys.
No, that's okay. I was just poking fun at you. Are they actually blues? I was just guessing.
Yeah, they are.
Yes.
Wow, that's impressive.
While Sam looks that up, we'll keep going here. Black Bay Explorer says, good point. Not everyone cares about watches the way we do. A Steinhardt could be a great one-watch collection for someone who does not care that it's a copy. Absolutely. Alex, good to see you, man. Steinhardt just copies the classics. They have zero creativity. There are plenty of fantastic watches that have original designs at that price point. Absolutely true.
No, I beg to differ, actually.
Okay.
Steinhardt is a brand that I think the owner has actually spoken out about this. But yeah, like when Steinhardt started, even when Squale started, they were just making Homage watches as well until they started producing the Squale Atmos. And then with Steinhardt, yeah, they were producing, pretty much Homage watches. But what they're doing now with their funds is they're developing their new watches. And a watch I was really interested in was the Steinhardt Ocean 1-2. That's what it was called. And it was a really cool watch. It had a sapphire bezel, fully loomed. Indices were fully loomed. A completely unique design. I couldn't tell it apart. The crown was loomed. It was a watch I was really interested in around 2 years ago. But I don't know what Steinhardt have been doing now because I haven't really paid attention to what they're releasing. But I do think they're trying to do a bit of their own research and start producing some of their own watches. And guess what? It's just not popular. Like, people don't actually want to get an original design from Steinhardt. They would rather buy the Homage. And that's one of the sad truths with what they've got. But I think Squale, on the other hand, people really like the Atmos. It's a completely unique watch. I've seen it in the metal. So yeah, I think that's my opinion on the brand.
Yeah, no, that's fine. And I Yeah, and you know, in the end, it's okay. It's fine to make those homages as long as if it's legal, right? It's not you're not infringing on anything legally speaking, and it's fine to do that. Um, but you know, it takes time for a original design to catch on. I
Yeah.
think it's never a hit, or it's not always a hit right from the get go. And I think that's what Steinhardt. I mean, Steinhardt has a bit of a damaged brand when it comes
Yeah.
to watch enthusiasts as well. So they kind of have to rebuild all of that. So you know, it might take a decade even to see Steinhardt pull themselves out of the known as being the homage or the copy company, right? But you know what? If they want to do that, that's great. It's good to have those options. I actually looked up the Ocean Rover, and it is the Jeannot. I had a feeling it was the Jeannot, but the Jeannot. There was a huge controversy with Jeannot where someone did some investigative work, and there was a really long write up, and it turned out he was one of the guys creating. What's this? Oh, there you go. He was one of the guys creating fakes, replica watches, Rolex watches, allegedly, and there was this huge hullabaloo. I think about 2 years ago about that. You guys should Google it. I'm surprised Geno's still in business actually, because there was a lot of people denouncing Geno, because I guess the evidence was strong enough for people to step away from Geno. From would they be the first canceled watch brand? But you know,
Good question.
if they're actually doing something illegal, then yeah, that's absolutely not good.
Yeah.
All right. Oil Money with another funny quip here. All this Steinhardt talk's making me nauseous. Excuse my snobbery.
Do you feel like people are snobs when it comes to micro brands? I feel like micro brands get a lot of unfair hate, or they're easily dismissed. I see them come up as a lot as, oh yeah, like I used to buy micro brands and that was a mistake, or you know what I mean?
I think I know what you mean. Yeah, because I think a lot of people get down to, like, especially a watch enthusiast, it becomes about resale, right? And you're an anomaly, Keith. And I think I think a lot of people that say, you know, micro brands were a mistake, or people who wanted to, you know, sell their stuff, and they went through the difficulty of putting what they purchased to sale, and maybe they came out the other side losing a ton of money, and so that is kind of burned into their psyche, and they think, you know, hey, that was a big mistake. But you know, again, if you count these things as sunk costs, and you count these things as you know, toys, I don't think micro brands get that much hate.
Yeah, or you're buying pre-owned, or you're buying a brand
Oh, yeah.
like Helios that holds their value, or
Yeah, good point.
things like that. Anyways, just a thought.
Yeah, no, that I agree. It's a lot to ponder, or a lot to chew on. Let's see. People criticize for spending excessive money on all types of things. Do we need a house? The thing for some of us, don't spend dollars on boats, toys, etc. Yeah, agreed. And there's always a lot of stuff that we could put money into, right? I guess noble causes, and you know, it comes to comes down to whether, you know, you're going to spend some money on yourself, or, you know, put it all down to charity. And you know, that's not easy to do. I know oil money keeps poking fun at me for not giving my Black Bay 58 to Chris because they don't like it as much. And that's really hard to do. That's a lot of money just to give away. But you know what? I it's that HDMI again. See,
You want to give it to someone? I'm right here, Sanjay.
Yeah, there you go.
We get Chris.
Yeah.
Chris who? I don't know.
For the record, Omani says there's literally no evidence that I am not a jerk. I have evidence. I have lots of evidence that you are not a jerk. Proof that Sanjay is a nice guy. All the things he thinks are bad thoughts are the rest of us normal thoughts. That's not true. Alex is saying he didn't mean to come off as too negative. I just think a brand like Zealous offers so much more for the money.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I'll definitely hands down get a Zealous over a Steinhardt any day. It was just back in the day I was considering a Steinhardt, and they were doing some unique designs, but yeah, hands down Zealous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kyle was saying Juno makes what many consider to be the highest end copy of a Rolex sub called the Ocean Rover. Creator took the elements of many different subs throughout history to create the ultimate homage. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened with all that. I mean, I did read through that controversial article or post, and the guy, even put the guy's address. Like it was crazy. It was a wild article. Not sure what happened after all that.
I don't know.
But yeah, his home address was kind of put on the internet because he was so convinced that this guy is a thief. Kobold was essentially canceled as well. I'm not sure who Kobold is. Always been attracted to the Steinhardt Ocean One Bronzo. Just never pulled the trigger. Have to look that one up. Chaz is here. Hey man, good to see you. Chaz in while Wolfgang's out. Thanks for joining us, Wolfgang. I hope you have a great dinner. JKB, good to see you, man. There will always be watches that you want and can purchase, and other watches that you want but you can't purchase. It's perfectly fine. Just gotta accept it. Absolutely. Well said. Okay. So, do you guys have anything else you guys want to chat about? I think we can stop there. Still so much we can talk about when it comes to snobbery, but we've hit the hour, and a lot of people it's time for Sam's breakfast, and it's time for my kids' bedtime.
And my dinner.
Keith's dinner. But yeah, I'm gonna plug something before I forget. Tomorrow we have Watch Soup. At least I think we do. So check out.
Been canceled yet? Sorry.
No. Check out Bobby Legs' YouTube channel. We're going to be talking tomorrow about just YouTube videos and reviews from the week. It's a good time. You have a blast. I had a pretty eventful week when it came to watches and stuff. I got this guy, and I got to see the 9F GMTs, the new ones. So the SBG and 019, 021, and 023. And I got a bit of footage from that. And I was working on that video today. So, man, they are really thick. I don't know why they are so thick, but they're really thick. Like slab-sided thick, like Black Bay, regular Black Bay, thicker than regular Black Bay. It just towers over your wrist, and you feel the weight. You feel the weight. You feel the thickness. I feel like that was a huge misstep from Grand Seiko, but I'm gonna put that video out maybe tomorrow. Sam, got anything to plug?
Not really, to be honest. If I get a new watch, I'll do an unboxing video. If I don't, it's the same old.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what you might get. Keith, got anything to plug?
Nothing to plug. I saw a couple reviews that were good this week. I'm gonna see if you mention them tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
My guess is you won't because they're micro brands.
Oh, see, I don't think I've seen any reviews. This week's been kind of dry for me. I haven't seen a lot. I forgot to mention that I will be giving these away. Someone had an idea of doing maybe a 30 or a 3,000 sub giveaway, but never like to ask people to subscribe to my channel. So I'm just gonna say, hey, comment on the video, and I'll just give them away. Maybe I'll do 2 or 3 in a month, and then 2 or 3 the next month, and give them away. So that is coming up as well.
Yeah, that's something I never got, is why people ask people to subscribe. Well, first of all, I know how YouTube works. I'm watching it.
Yeah,
I think it'd be better to say, here's what I do on this channel, and just leave it at that. But
yeah.
people know a lot more about YouTube than I do, so
Yeah.
I'm sure it helps.
Oh well, a lot of people forget, right? And
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's easy to say like, subscribe, smash that notification bell.
Oh yeah.
I think, yeah, in a lot of cases, like you go to your YouTube stats, it's like 98% of the people that view your videos are not subscribed.
Oh
And
yeah.
Yeah.
that's why you just have to tell everyone to subscribe.
Yeah, that's like one of the watchfinder things, right? Every video,
Yeah.
it really means a lot to me if you subscribe, and it helps a lot more than you can know. That's what the talking hands guy says. Generally, the spot where I double tap my screen to go ahead 10 seconds.
Yeah.
you know when the music starts to double tap the screen, and then you just skip over all that. So, but anyway, guys, we're just rambling on now. It was great to see you all. Hope you all have a great week. If you guys tune in to Bobby Legs tomorrow, I'll see you there. But other than that, take care, guys. Stay safe out there. Have a good night, everyone.
See you.
Bye.